to UNESCO, only 30% of female students are in STEM-related programs. Now, I have the privilege and honor of sitting with two beautiful, intelligent women that are in STEM-related programs. And for those of you who don't know, STEM-related programs are programs in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Ladies, welcome to Ekse. I feel honored and privileged to be sitting here with two beautiful, intelligent women. And it is Women's Month, so of course we need to celebrate the woman in power. Welcome to Ekse.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much.
Can you guys, respectively, just tell me your story and your journey of how you decided to get into what you're studying and your research? And for anybody watching, a young girl watching, how would they know what to focus in on and how would they know what to do? You can go first.
So I've always known that I wanted to do astronomy. So from a very young age, all I wanted to do was astronomy, and hence probably a Doctor of Moon, because I wanted to be the moon doctor. But I've really focused into things that were channeling me to focus into more and more into astronomy. So everything that I did, I saw it as a building block towards my bigger goal, which is becoming an astronomer. I did maths and physics in high school, really focused into those, although obviously there were like about 10 girls out of 30 boys in the classroom. I really tried to channel myself into thinking that I'm able and capable of doing sciences. So that's all I did. I made sure that I focus on my bigger goal, which is becoming an astronomer.
Of course.
Yeah.
And Matabo, for you?
I fell in love with science in high school. I fell in love with geography, and from studying geography, I knew that I want to go the environmental route.
Yeah.
And later on, I discovered oceanography and decided to take that route. And I focused on just studying all the time, and also not just focusing on school, but also focusing on other kind of curricular activities, meeting new people, just understanding what everyone else is doing, and yeah.
And I learned that you recently got your diving license, which means that you can also be an underwater filmmaker.
Yes. So I was fortunate enough earlier this year to be part of an underwater filmmaking lab.
Wow.
And it was an incredible experience. I studied oceanography from undergrad until my master's, and I'd never been under the ocean before. So this opportunity really opened my eyes. It was life-changing. Being under the water, breathing underwater was just crazy. And seeing the life in the ocean and feeling everything that I studied. You get what I'm saying? Yeah.
And I feel like both of you are you're doing the stars, you're doing the ocean, very like magical, but also very hard. And do you think as girls we romanticize these things? Did you romanticize studying in your fields? And do you enjoy like what you're doing?
Okay, so for me, I did. I just thought about it. I'm like, everyone that I looked up to in astronomy is male. Mark Shuttleworth, Neil Armstrong, they're all males. So I always thought it's just a dream, you know. Maybe that's just a dream. Maybe it's at the back of my head. Yeah. And just getting into it and doing it, I continue to tell myself, well, probably you need to make this dream a reality. And you need to keep on pushing it and pushing forward, even though it's a dream.
And do you think as girls aren't as interested in maths and science as boys, or is that just a stereotype that society pushes onto us?
I think that's a stereotype. I went to an all-girls school, so it's quite hard for me to say, you know, as a young child, was there an imbalance between people studying science and people studying like social sciences. Yeah. So I was talking to my mom earlier on, and I was saying it's nice how high schools, everyone is introduced into science in high school, and I think they're making it now more compulsory for people to study maths and science, so that people are not afraid. You know, you have that opportunity to explore it and not be intimidated by it, and see that's actually something that's everyone's capable of doing.
Well, I actually think that even in schools there is this stereotype, and girls do not necessarily have the confidence that they need. So I went to a co-ed school. So that's the difference. Girls are not necessarily pushed and motivated to do sciences in schools. Girls are always looked down on, and even when you're introducing girls into these careers or introducing them in science, there is some assumed role that girls need to take. So girls need to take that back seat. When they're doing practicals, boys will go up and do
Yeah.
the whole cut thing, and the girls must just write down the results.
Yeah.
So I think there is that kind of
Stereotype.
stereotype that's enforced in schools. Yeah.
And for you, what do you think, Tiami? So how are you battling these stereotypes?
Okay, so number one, I just tell myself that I'm where I am because I deserve to be there, and I worked very hard to be there.
Affirmation.
And yeah, and because even in our circles, we find people who think that we are here because, well, they want to increase the women in sciences.
Yeah.
So yeah, they found someone else who can do this. We'll go right for it.
Yeah.
But we actually earn where we are.
And
Like
that's the most
we've
important
earned
part.
it, and
Yeah.
we need to. That's what I just say. Like I deserve to be here. I do what I need to do, and I do it well.
Yeah.
So I think that's
Do you have any female role models that you can name off the top of your head that you've looked up to while growing up? You can start.
In the science field, I'd say my supervisors. From a young age, I just genuinely grew up in an arts environment.
Okay.
So all my female role models have been in the arts.
Okay.
But as I got into UCT, you
Yeah.
get more familiar with your field, you meet people in your field, and
Yeah.
oceanography is such a specialized field, so it's not something that you'll hear about back in high school. So growing up, it was mostly people in the arts field, and then in university, I got to meet my
And
supervisors.
who's your supervisor?
So my supervisor in my honors is Tammy Morris. She now works at the South African Weather Services,
Okay.
as well as Isabel Ansorge, and she's at UCT. She specializes in physical oceanography. So working with these people, I obviously look up to them because
Okay.
they have similar interests to me, and they're pioneers in their fields. So yeah.
And for you?
So my role model in terms of astronomy has to be Dr. Claire Vaningan. She was the director of the planetarium.
Okay.
So back in the day, I didn't even know that she was an astronomer. I just saw her as the lady who runs planetarium shows, and I was interested in that, and I really looked up to her. And yeah, having the privilege to have interactions with her and to meet her has actually been quite a bliss. So yeah.
And do you guys feel like we have a reasonable amount of women in the STEM-related fields, in pushing in higher education, or do you feel like there's still space for more women to occupy?
There's still space. Everyone
still
out
space.
there is still space.
Yeah.
We need more women in,
Yeah.
in STEM. We need more women to take charge. We need more women to change the world.
Yeah.
As much as science is transforming, and we need women to be part of that transformation that science is offering. So yeah, there is definitely space.
But I think we should actually focus also on the positive and seeing that how many women are in this field,
Yeah.
and it's a growing field. And in oceanography and in environmental sciences, the fields that I've studied, we've actually been majority women in my class.
Really?
So yeah, exactly. So I think that we need to also applaud the women that are now
Yeah.
in this field and not forget them.
And so our senior chemistry lecturer at UWC, Dr. Fanelwa, once said that she has a dream of opening a faculty at a university where nursing young women can breastfeed their children during working hours, because women need to juggle family life and work life. What are your thoughts on that?
I think that would be so cool. Having something like that would be really cool, because
Is it not far-fetched?
a little bit, but that would still be so cool. I
Yeah.
mean, women have had to choose between their careers and their family lives for the longest time.
That's true.
And it would be really, really nice to have women not having to choose between the two and
Yeah.
having it all. So I think that's really so cool. I'm behind you, Eva.
I'm actually also behind her, but I also think that there are steps being taken, like having daycares. I know UCT has a daycare, so for students who are mothers and also
Really?
lecturers who are mothers. So it enables them to go, I guess, during their lunchtime to go see their children, and I'm sure they would be allowed to breastfeed. So I think there are steps that are being taken, and it's definitely something that needs to be looked at as well.
And for what's next, guys? What's the future? What does it look like to you, especially for South Africa and what we're doing here in the astronomy field and also in the oceanography field? What do you think is next?
I think that there's a lot happening, and there's a lot of funding opportunities now aimed at women in science. So we're now providing more access to female postgraduate students to continue. We're encouraging students to study further and take their academics further.
Yeah.
So we should definitely applaud that as well.
Yeah.
Well, I think, okay, for astronomy, I call astronomy the mother of all sciences. Sorry.
African.
And I also call it the mother of all professions. And I feel like if we just teach people or also let people know what's there in astronomy, that it's more than just stars, and that there are other useful skills that we learn in astronomy that we can use in our everyday lives. And I see astronomy more for the non-scientists, astronomy for development and developing our own country. So I see it going forward, and with everyone being part of it. I mean, taxpayers are paying a lot of money into it, so we need to all move together into the sciences and making them grow.
And Tiami, so you are currently doing your PhD. Can you talk to me about your research? Do you want to spill the beans of what's happening? Can you tell me something interesting about your research and which direction it's heading into?
Okay, so I'm doing research. I'm focusing in astronomy education research, and I look at the conceptualization of astronomical distances. And I was mentioning earlier to Matabo that most of the time astronomers will speak about all these distances and these scales as if they're a normal thing. Like, oh, light years away, 24 parsecs away, and this much distance. But what does it actually mean to an average person who doesn't do astronomy? And I'm more interested into making sure that I communicate science, because I believe that science is for the non-scientists as well. So I work towards making sure.
I like that, because I'm sitting here as a presenter, and I love science. I'm always interested. I always love learning something new.
Yeah, so I'm looking into what ways are there that we can disseminate science for the people to understand it, but also keeping the science content into it. So keeping the astronomical knowledge and making sure that we still speak astronomy, although in the language that is not necessarily astronomical. So keeping the content, but then disseminating to others. So starting from first year students, I work with a lot of first year introduction to astronomy students, and I work with them in terms of helping them understand astronomy better.
That's so interesting. And Matabo, for you, you're doing your master's?
Yes, so I've just completed my master's, and now I'm working as a marine consultant at a marine consultancy based here in Cape Town. And basically we do water quality monitoring, sediment monitoring, anything to do with the marine environment. And my master's looked at marine protected areas and how oceanography plays a role in that. Because with marine protected areas, we tend to focus on the marine biology, and we forget.
What are marine protected areas?
Marine protected areas are demarcated spaces in the ocean where they will say that, okay, you're not allowed to fish at this particular time of the year, or you're not allowed to do any recreational activities, just to make sure that the species that are endangered in that area are allowed to like grow and replenish the ocean. So we, in terms of that, they normally tend to focus on the fish in the ocean and not really look at the environment. So oceanography, is the environment of the ocean, and now that's what my thesis was kind of looking at.
Well, ladies, thank you for joining us. I know that both of you are going to continue inspiring other women and continue to teach other women. And I really, from the bottom of my heart, I really hope you continue doing that, and that someone is watching and that they are inspired from here. So thank you for joining us on the lovely Yellow Couches.